Well, good morning, students, or afternoon, or evening, or whenever you might be listening to this. I am up here in the studio without you guys, obviously, missing you a lot. Maybe you're missing me some too. I've had a hard time figuring this out, how to do this virtually online and whatever else. And hopefully you've gotten packets. If you haven't gotten it already, you should have it today, tomorrow. I know a couple of people I've learned weren't at the address that the college had for them. It'll take them a bit longer. So you're going to work at your own pace anyway. So I'm going this morning to just go over the exercises, and in general, there's going to be a letter that starts the packet, handwritten. I hope you can read my writing. Thought it might seem friendlier. And it goes through each one of the exercises as I would have introduced them to you if we could all be here together. I'm taking on a little of Mr. Rogers style here this morning. Might not be obvious, but I want this to be as fun and friendly as we possibly can make it during this stressful time. It was Mr. Rogers that always was able to calm everybody down, and I think that was certainly a talent of his. So when we ended up here, the next exercise after spring break theoretically would have been, hopefully with good weather, going outside and drawing Old Main. Tradition I've had, as long as weather is held up. And almost every semester, for 62 semesters, that's been possible. This is extraordinary, and it's not happening. But as backup, I always had a picture of Old Main that I think is going to be quite useful for your perspective drawing. This is going to be the first exercise that you're going to do. If you took your sketchbook home with you, please put it in that sketchbook. We'll figure out how I'm going to get the sketchbook later on, but put it in that. If you didn't, I've included some 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper in your packet, and you'll be able to do the drawings on that. Anyway, some things to keep in mind. Remember, we drew these boxes to get to this point. It's all about perspective. So a couple of things I want to make sure that I review. Remember, these are perfect verticals. These are perfect horizontals. And so when you see this picture of Old Main, make sure that if this is straight up and down, which it is, that it's parallel to this side of the paper. And same over here. And then if lines are going down below a pencil, because they're above eye level, see that. See the negative space triangles and so on. And more importantly, you have to have a basic unit of measurement. We talked about that with all these things. I'm saying that the Old Main clock, which is exactly the size of a dime, which I thought I had in my pocket, but I don't. I want you to use that circle, that dime, the diameter of the dime, to measure everything else by. How many widths of this clock is this tower, is length is this window, and so on. I hope that with the exercises we built up from one simple box to a couple of boxes and so on, and to this, is going to lead you right into this. So I will tell you that because it's flat, it's going to be a bit easier than I wish it were for you, but it's the best thing that I can figure out as to how to get you through this important exercise. Remember, I've said this before, I don't believe that we ever really see something until we've drawn it. And so your memory of Old Main is going to be far clearer, I believe, if you take time and work on this exercise. Time is going to take some of you longer than others, and I am not suggesting that you're going to draw every brick on here. You might want to put in a few just to give that texture, but mostly you're going to have the large geometric aspects of this beautiful building. Leaves, optional. Every once in a while a student likes to get a little fancy over here. That's fine. I mean, have fun with it, but I'm not saying you need to draw every leaf on this tree here. So that's the first exercise that I want you to tackle within this packet.